Greetings, mood killers. I'm Balonius Francine Marconi, along with Eddie Barella here. And I don't know, Eddie. The weather's getting nice, and I'm getting depressed because it's so nice out that I'm starting to feel guilty for not going outside all the time again.
Right.
And I don't like that because I like inside. I mean, when I was a kid, my favorite activity was inside with air conditioning.
Right.
Which will be my book coming out this fall. But I really, I mean, I look forward to like sitting, knowing it's really hot outside, and I'm sitting inside like a king on the couch.
That's right.
With a big bowl of snacks and ice cream, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is like now you feel like, well, not only for your health, you don't want to drop dead. You need to go on a walk. Okay. But then I get tired of like the same walk all the time, and I go this way and I go that way, and I'm like, I just need to get out of the country or something.
Right.
You know?
Get out of the country. Leave.
Never come back. That's the problem. I think if I left, I may never come back. You know? But
I mean, I saw that they're questioning people when they leave now.
Yeah,
they want to know why you're leaving the country. Then they make a little note on you, and then they check it when you come back.
Yeah,
you know.
I was going to ask you this because you're a world traveler, and I need to ask my friend Nick this too because you got this real ID that they're making everyone get, and I guess it's been something that they've wanted people to get since 2005. I only heard about it last year. First, it was City ID that I was supposed to get. Now, I don't know if that's the same thing or a different thing or what, but
I don't know.
Then Real ID. They got people standing in line down the blocks here in Chicago. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not leaving the country or flying anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. So I'm going to stay put. But can I just get a passport and use that instead?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. You say I'm a world traveler, but I haven't gone anywhere internationally since like 2017 or 2018. It's been a long time for me. And at this point, if I leave, I'm not coming back. So, like, I don't.
Yeah, right. Well, but I thought, like, wouldn't a passport trump like a real ID? Because and then why can't we just have one ID that they can have a chip with the information and their computer scans the dumb thing, and it has all of your stuff in there, and it shuts off if it's stolen or if it's away from your body, you know, or if you report it or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, can Elon just put that thing in my head?
Now, see, there's something that you would get. Like, there's a blurry thing there because, you know, a lot of Christians.
I'm a Canadian, and
a lot of people are saying that, you know, Trump's the Antichrist.
Right.
And if you read any of the Bible, like the Revelation book of Revelation, it talks about the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And basically getting a chip. Would be something like that. So
that's right.
While it might sound convenient, I'm not for it. But I don't like the system we have is so convoluted. I mean, you got to stand in these lines, and then you get there, and they need 15 paper bills or a printout of your lease of your apartment or to prove where you live, even though right in your hand, in that same wallet, you have an ID that a license that you got 2 months ago.
Right.
With all the, you know, but that doesn't work. That's not proof enough. You got to bring in your birth certificate. You've got to bring in your Social Security card, all that. And you feel vulnerable carrying that stuff around because, Lord forbid, something happen and you drop that, and then you got all that to get, and who knows how easy that's going to be now. So
yeah, it's a nightmare.
I lose something and now I can't prove I'm a citizen? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so, I almost feel like I have to walk around with my birth certificate and
your
papers. As much information. My papers.
So I got to get a driver's license, then they want a city ID, and then I got to get a real ID, and then if I want to travel abroad, I've also got to get a passport, but that's not enough. I don't know. I mean, it feels like a racket. Like now, what do we got to get a subscription to these things and like pay every month? What's the next step?
I mean, you kind of do. I pay for the TSA pre-check, and then they have a world travel version of that too. So They kind of are nickel and diming you. Everything's a subscription fee. Pretty soon you have to pay a subscription to be an American citizen. Just period.
I know. And by the way, don't be flagging Eddie. Don't be hunting him down. He has his papers on him at all times. He'll be able to prove it. So, yeah.
I mean, I wish I could be deported because that'd mean I would have citizenship to another country. That'd be great.
Eddie, yes, Eddie wants to be deported.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have no desire to ever get in a hot air balloon. Have you been in a hot air balloon?
I have.
Ever? You have? Oh, my goodness. Why were you in a hot air balloon?
At one point in my childhood, I lived in Indianola, Iowa. It's like 20 minutes south of Des Moines, and so the city, the big thing, the balloon festival was a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember, and as a kid, having balloon festival T-shirts and all that stuff that you would get at the balloon festival, and these balloons. This one main famous one would always go up. It was a bubble gum container, a bubble gum dispenser or whatever. And it was really cool. And I just remember one time somebody had a balloon that was a friend of my mom's, and they let us go up in it. And I was terrified. Terrified.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so unstable.
It's dangerous. I don't know why anybody would want to get in a wicker basket and then have it,
with the
rise into the air.
And
all based on very flammable materials and gases. So.
And you got to stand there with like two or three other people in this small space.
Oh, no,
I don't like
no,
that.
Thanks.
And did you see Will Ferrell's movie with his friend?
Yeah.
And they're traveling across the country. And
did they get in a hot air balloon in that? Because I watched about 3/4 of it. So
it was one of the funniest scenes because Will Ferrell's yelling at some dog for barking from up in the balloon. Yeah. Shut up! It's great. But still, looking at that, I was terrified because it's like, I get terrified just walking, when you show people like walking on the Empire State Building, that deck that they have.
Yeah.
That terrifies me, seeing that. And anybody that comes to Chicago, they always want to go to these sky decks. There's one in the Hancock Building and one in the Sears Tower. And I went with, I've gone a few times, and I can tell you, there's nothing about it that I liked.
I thought I did that same thing when I was there, and I thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah.
But then I was getting very nervous on the elevator ride up. I was getting kind of nauseous, and I thought
that elevator is weird too because you feel like all these weird feelings, like I don't want to do this, and then you're going up kind of fast in the elevator with a bunch of people. You're crammed into an elevator with a bunch of people.
Then you get to the top, and then they want you to stand on that glass platform, and then underneath your feet, there's nothing. But I did it.
The Sears Tower?
I thought it was actually kind of cool. I forgot if that was the Sears Tower or the other one.
Oh, the one is like a Sky Deck 360 or something like that. I think that's Hancock.
Okay.
And then the other one, Sears Tower, is where you get out and they show you like the history of the Sears Tower, like a little film, and you get to see how many Oprahs high the Sears Tower is. And they show you how tall Oprah really is and how many Michael Jordans it would be, that kind of thing. And
did she sign off on that?
I don't know. I really, instead of calling it the Willis Tower, which is technically what the Sears Tower name is, but nobody that's local calls it that, they should call it the Oprah Tower.
They should.
And the other one should be the Jordan Tower.
Yeah.
I would be much happier with that. Yeah. But but these, did you look at something like a video or something?
No, the hot air balloon. So there was a hot air balloon that caught fire at a balloon festival.
Yes.
And this guy tried to help two people escape. He became entangled in the ropes and then died, apparently. But he helped these two people escape. They were injured, but imagine they're in this hot air balloon and it caught on fire while it was floating into the air. This guy jumped in and tried to help everybody. He ends up dying.
So wait, he gets tangled in the rope, and the thing drags him into the air, and he's on fire.
Him or something, and then he's on. He was set on fire, strangled, and then thrown into a river by a hot air balloon.
What?
It's like a medieval torture.
It sounds like a Simpsons episode where Homer Simpson gets his foot caught in something, and he's knocking his head against the pine trees or something.
If this weren't a cartoon, it'd be hilarious. But
this is real.
it's real life. Then you're like, oh my God. These hot air balloons, they're out for us. They bring us nothing good in life. So please do not get into one. I just want to warn everybody this summer. Yeah.
Because when you think about like these cities that don't have, skyscrapers like Chicago does.
Right.
There's no way of getting up really high other than like going on an airplane, which I wouldn't want to do either because they would be like or a helicopter. No, thanks. Like a balloon seems like, oh, yeah, this is an easy way. And some guy's got a license and he's got the hot air thing. You go up for a few minutes. Like, then what happens if, the thing catches on fire or, like the basket drops or what are you going to do? You're done.
Right.
And it's not high enough for you to have a parachute, I don't think.
Right.
You're high enough to like see everything. And it's cool if nothing goes wrong because you get to see it. It's a beautiful sight to look at, the world from above. But I don't think the payoff is, worth the risk.
Yeah. What are you going to do up there? Ooh,
For 2 seconds. And then you're like, okay, I'm good. Can we go back down? Well, we have to do this for 30 minutes. It's like part of the law.
No,
in my license, it says I have to stay up for 35 minutes at least.
I hate hot air balloons.
Eddie, we are constantly on TikTok. I mean, and you and I have this streak going. I don't know what that means, but TikTok has this thing where they think it's motivational to get you to keep going with the activating. Like if I send you a video and you send me a video, we have every day we have a streak going for 30 days or something. I think we're going to get, but what do you get after that? Nothing.
I know. It's just a streak and that's all you get.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, that's a reward. When you see that, it excites you and you keep wanting to share videos. So,
but I always have I have way too many videos to share. And then I'm like, I'm already reposting these on my timeline and he's probably going to see them anyway. But just in case, I'm going to send it to him,
Right.
But we always say keep scrolling on this show. And I always have highlights of things I'm looking at. And I don't know, this, a reminder to everyone, sleep apnea is going to get you sooner or later.
At night, when you turn down all the lights, when you've tucked your dogs in tight, oh yeah, sleep apnea's gonna get you. 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 Breathe right, sleep tight, da da da.
And all that sleep apnea that for a long time. I don't know if you had to do these sleep studies. And you're supposed to get these machines, and then the machines can get mold in them, and that makes it goes deep into your lungs because you didn't clean it out properly. And then what they tell you is like, oh, it might give you 2 or 3 years extra on the end of your life. And And who wants to sleep next to Darth Vader in those sleep apnea masks? And then, And then I keep seeing these commercials. I don't know what it is. It catches you every time you're watching a sporting event because that's the main time when I see TV commercials. It always gets you depressed because, like, well, if you're feeling sleepy or you might have you might be dying. See if you if this is a symptom, talk to your doctor. I can't afford to talk to my doctor. And then it always says something like, there's a commercial, and then they show this thing where you put. It says you can click this remote, and it keeps you from having sleep apnea. And what you find out is they have to put some plastic inside you in your lung to click it. I'm like, what would anybody? Has anybody had this done? Because I don't. It doesn't seem very popular. I haven't heard everybody bragging about it. It would be on TikTok all over if people were doing it, right?
Yeah, I know.
But you know what I'm talking about? Do you see those commercials where they say just one click and you don't no more masks? And they even have commercials now where they're in like some CPAP anonymous group. They're all sitting around with these masks on their face, and then the guy goes, I don't have to do that anymore. I didn't bring my mask because...
Are you talking about the thing that you put your tongue in it? Is that the device in your tongue?
What the,
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know
this?
what that is.
That's the only sleep device that comes up on my TikTok. Is you put your tongue in this like circle, and then it looks very uncomfortable. And then you hold that in your mouth all night, and it's supposed to stop you from snoring, but it looks very, very, very uncomfortable.
This one is like a device. I think they almost put like some kind of a pacemaker inside your body, like a surgery.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I've seen that one too. It's like an invasive surgery. Where
But they make it look like it's no big deal because you just have this remote, like it's a handy little key fob or something. I'm like, no, there's more to it than that. Show what really happens. And then I have seen, though, people with this mouth tape. Like, I'm sorry. Nobody's buying mouth tape. I'm not putting tape over my mouth in the middle of the night. Like, what if my nasal is clogged so much that I can't breathe, but then I can't get the mouth tape off? Do I just drop dead? No.
Right.
Anyway, enough of that. Katy Perry is continually being goofed on. And you know why? Somebody decided that they were going to focus on her, and this song has been trending for weeks now. She has a song from like 2008, and this is, I think somebody's singing it.
You're like an Indian summer in the middle of the winter, like a hard candy with a surprise center.
And I actually like the song. I think it's a good song. If it wasn't
not bad.
If it wasn't Katy Perry, and it was more like when she sounded indie, she would have fit on Adobe Anthem back in the day. Right. But then people are relentless with this. They're doing skits. And one of them is making fun of like behind the scenes that Katy Perry's upset and like what her reaction is it to it.
That's not funny. No, because I literally don't sing like that. No, I mean, like, not anymore, but, like, you used to. No, I don't sing like that, okay? I don't know why they're making those facial expressions, because, like, you heard that. Listen, this is how I sing it. It's completely different. You're like an Indian summer in the middle of a winter, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. If I were Katy Perry, I would just go with it. You know, like, let people think I'm the weirdest person alive and I'm out there and I'm on mushrooms or whatever. Who cares? I mean,
I don't know. Something about her is just so off and non-human. I don't know what it is. It's like she's not being genuine with people.
Yes, it's like a phoniness, a big phoniness.
It really
I don't like
is.
that
And
either.
I think it's maybe because there's nothing to like underneath that mask that she's wearing. Just from all the reports that come out. Like we covered that story here about her kicking elderly people out of their homes.
I love when you bring it up, too. I love when you bring it up.
We broke that news.
Yeah, we did. Okay, and here's another. Now, imagine your dad reciting lyrics to a song you wouldn't normally hope your dad would be aware of. This is a clip of that.
Oh, I could eat that girl for lunch. Yes, she dances on my tongue. Tastes like she might be the one, and I could never get enough. I could buy her so much stuff. It's a craving, not a crush. Yes, so I could eat that girl for lunch.
Oh, man.
And I got an Elvis shirt, but it could be English.
What do you mean English?
Billie Eilish.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't quite understand why that song would just be for lesbians. It'd kind of be like me and you, and we could sing it to Nancy and Christy. And,
yes, we could.
And I listened to the song numerous times. And I may have to get a copy of that and put it in the bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree, Dad.
That was Lincoln Neal from Rhett and Link. He does a podcast with his dad, and it's the greatest. The clips are the greatest thing you've ever seen. Awesome. I don't know what I think it's called Mythical something, but it's a side podcast that he does every week with his dad, and his dad is everything you want him to be. The Southern man. He was he plays. Not when he had a wig on singing those lyrics. Like he's like,
I could eat that girl for lunch.
It's so great. Here's one of my favorite guys. Now, America, we say things a certain way, Eddie, but in Ireland, they say them differently. Here's Garen Noon reporting.
Here's some things the Irish say different to Americans. Obviously, we're right and you're wrong, so please listen and educate yourself. It's horse riding, not horseback riding. Obviously, you're going to sit on its fucking back. Where else would you sit? Why do you need to specify this? This is highly worrying. Americans would say tuna fish. This is highly incorrect. It's pronounced tuna. Everybody knows that a T followed by a U is pronounced ch. This is basic fucking English, guys. Also, why do you need to say tuna fish? There's no other animal called a tuna, I believe. There's no tuna kangaroo or anything like that. Don't worry. Why do I keep hearing Americans call these eyeglasses? Where else have people been trying to put them? It's pronounced glasses. They will not function correctly on any other part of the body. This is a footpath, not a sidewalk. It's a path for your feet. A sidewalk. What if I don't want to walk? What if I'd prefer to have a little stand? I'm not going to get told what to do by some fucking path. Also, we use the same word for this, but I think we pronounce it a little bit cuter. So Americans would say a film, and in Ireland we say film. You just add a cheeky little silent U, film. Makes it sound fucking stronger. Hopefully you've enjoyed this webinar and follow me. I'm delicious.
That's one of my favorite guys. Garen Noon. Yeah, I like film. I want to say film from now on. I'm going to go watch that movie film. And I still am supposed to go watch Sinner, Eddie recommended last week. Haven't seen that yet.
You got to watch it.
I will go watch that film soon.
Please do. Remember Honey Boo Boo?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You know, Honey Boo Boo was all over TV on TLC. There was that show, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. I think they had a couple of spin-offs, but for a while there, you couldn't escape Honey Boo Boo. She was probably, like 8 years old or something at the time?
And I never watched one episode of that, and I saw her everywhere anyway. And that was before, I think it was before, like, even Twitter was out.
I know.
So, it was just promos on TV and, like, incessant stories about the update of what Honey Boo Boo's mom or Mama Boo Boo or whatever her name is.
Mama June.
Yeah, Mama June. Never stopped hearing about her.
Right, yeah.
Her sexual adventures with other men was weird.
Right. Well, I thought for our celebrity news, we would check in with Honey Boo Boo. Should we check in with Honey Boo Boo and see what she's up to?
So excited, yes.
Celebrity news. Here we go.
All right. The Honey Boo Boo edition.
Wow.
Where are they now? Where is Honey Boo Boo? So her real name is Alana. Alana
for a second, I thought you were going to have an AI Honey Boo Boo talk to us.
Oh,
I was kind of excited, but I also was like,
fun.
this is gonna be really weird.
That would have been great. Maybe next time we'll get her on.
Yeah. Sorry for giving you the idea during the show.
That'd be a great idea. But the real Honey Boo Boo, she is now 19 years old, believe it or not.
Okay.
19. And she's a nursing student. She goes to school at Colorado's Regis University.
Is that a bestowed nursing school?
I believe they have a pretty good nursing program. Pretty good. So she's going there. She's going to try to become a nurse. And I guess she's only 5 years old when Toddlers and Tiaras was on TV. That's where she got started on TLC. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never watched any of those shows. I only watched TLC, I think. What was that show that was great? That was, oh, man, I can't think of it now.
My 600-Pound Life?
No. Not mystery, not mystical. What was that show with Jamie Heineman and the other guy? And they
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters. I watched
that. That was on Discovery Channel.
Okay, so I didn't watch. I guess the only show I remember watching on that TLC was the Kate plus 8 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
There was the two parents, so they hated each other, and they had 8 kids between each other. I think the publicly divorced or something like that. Anyway, that's the last show I think I watched on TLC.
Such garbage.
Oh, yeah,
TV.
And then they had Little People, Big World on there, right?
Oh, yeah.
That channel.
They had that. They had Sister Wives, that guy that was married to like 8 women in Utah.
It was one of those channels that started out as like a wholesome, actual learning channel, like How It's Made would be on there, shows like that, and you'd actually learn stuff. And then it just turned into like reality TV because they couldn't get an audience with just learning.
Yeah, that was the downfall.
America
of
hates
cable.
learning.
That's really what happened to every single cable network. They all started
really
out
did.
with some like, great idea that was going to change the world. And then AMC is all these old movies and stuff. And then they actually ended up doing some good programming. But TLC, they fell into the trap of this crappy reality TV. And it was just really the downfall of cable. Just lowest common denominator, BS, over and over again. And then they played these shows nonstop. You couldn't ever get it. They're just on constantly. Every time you turn on cable.
That's what happened to MTV, too. Remember, MTV played all those videos, and then they couldn't get enough people to watch the same videos over and over because they got bored, and there weren't enough new videos. It was always like the same old videos over and over, and you're like, oh, man. And so
the History Channel did the same thing. Remember, they used to actually teach you about World War II, and
I
now
would
you
always
turn it
that
on,
was just like
and
the
it's
dad
aliens.
channel. Like every dad watched that. Yeah, and then, but like MTV, and then they would have like these reality shows, and then they would have a reality show of all the reality shows challenging each other and going up against each other, doing stuff, and then Real World and all that stuff, which I didn't hate those shows, but and then remember like MTV would get into drama TV and stuff like that with my So-Called Life and these other shows, and I kind of dug it, but then you forgot, oh yeah, the reason this channel existed because it used to play videos, and then nobody cared. So
that's right.
They all turned into this rotten reality TV, which I hate. I hate reality TV.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
But,
it's all
but Honey
garbage,
Boo Boo is
but
going to be a
Honey Boo
nurse.
Boo-
Could you imagine getting a
nurse.
You have a procedure and Honey Boo Boo comes in to take your blood?
I know.
Well, wait, aren't you Honey Boo Boo? And she's like, oh God, never lose this identity. Everybody's going to always refer to me. And then hopefully she does well. I'm rooting for her because you don't want that kid to continue in life and be like depressed because she can't do anything right and she screws up at her job because people won't stop calling her Honey Boo Boo and it becomes an issue. But it would be weird to be in there and like realize that Honey Boo Boo is like, putting in your catheter.
I know. It really would be weird. Well, if you want to catch up with Honey Boo Boo, there's going to be a docu-series or some kind of a biopic,
of course,
on Lifetime channel.
Oh, Lifetime got the deal.
Yeah, Lifetime got
TLC,
the big deal.
screw you guys. You made us.
There you go.
F you.
There you go.
Oh, I can't wait to watch the Boo Boo documentary.
Yeah.
Eddie, what became popular and ended it being fun? It ruined it because it was too popular. Subscriptions. Remember when it was kind of cool to have a subscription to something? I remember when I first moved to Chicago, I'm like, I got to step up my game. And I got this clothing subscription. It was like $60 a month. Now, I don't know anything about who made these clothes, but they didn't seem like they were high quality. But I was paying $65 a month, and they would style me, basically. And I get a new outfit, a new jacket, some shoes, pants. And I actually loved everything that I got. And I felt like, oh, this is cool. A subscription. Then I realized, this is $65 a month. And, after a while, the thing that sucked is you'd really like it, but then you couldn't go to a store and buy a bunch more of them. You'd have to rely on this thing. And they're like, oh, no, we don't sell those, a la carte. You have to, wait till they come to you. Oh, great. So, anyway, subscriptions, it used to seem cool. Like, oh, I've got Netflix, and I can watch anything. Netflix used to have everything on it.
Yeah, it was cool. It used to be kind of bragging rights. I have a subscription to this and that, and the other thing now it's, we're bogged down by them. And then the rates keep going up and up and up and up, and they never warn you. Then you look at your credit card statement, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And it's just too much.
Speaking of that, I paused my Fubo TV because of NCAA basketball. There was a lot more of it on YouTube TV. So I got that, and I didn't expect to like it, but I liked it better than Fubo TV. The DVR was better. It was easier to work, and I was simpler. So I stayed with YouTube TV, and I forgot all about Fubo TV. Well, I forgot that I didn't cancel the subscription. I only paused it for 6 months. And then I was going, oh, yeah, I got to cancel that. Today I went. The last couple of months, I've been paying $93 a month for this Fubo TV that I haven't been watching. And then I had to delete it today. And part of it's like, you know, an RIP to my DVR, all those shows that I'll never watch. But somehow I'm sad that, you know, the past 2 seasons of the Kansas City Chiefs football games, I'll be upset that I won't be able to watch those that I never watched again. You know what I mean? But I was paying $93 extra. Like, so that's,
Yikes.
you know, like $200
That's a lot.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah. That adds up.
Thrifting used to be thrilling. Like you'd go into like a thrift store, like a Goodwill or whatever, or
Sure.
any of the thrift stores, you know, independent ones too. But it used to be fun because you go in there, you're like, I'm going to get some piece of crap that somebody else was going to throw away, but they decided to donate it here. I'm going to pay for it. Yeah. And then, you know, it'd be like, you know, a couple of bucks. And then like all these influencers, I love thrifting. Oh, look at these candles. These are so good. These will be perfect in around my bidet. I'm really trying to style my area. So I'm just tired of blank spaces. There's so many people on the internet talking like that. These candlesticks are a find. You know, they're always finding things. And then I go in there. I never find any of that stuff.
Yeah, I never see anything. It's all junk.
Yeah.
Like there used to be a time where you could go to the vinyl section and find a cool vinyl here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find an old Led Zeppelin album or an old Black Sabbath album or something like that. But now you go and these vinyl maniacs will go to thrift stores and they'll pick out all the cool stuff. Then by the time you get there, it's nothing but just garbage, you know.
Because Eddie, I used to go like to record stores in Portland. Everyday Music was one of my go-tos. And I would find these old instructional records like how to bowl, how to type, how to be a ventriloquist, you know, and I'd make all these pieces of imaging for radio. And I'm like, first of all, why am I wasting all this time? But it was so much fun to find these pieces of vinyl. And that was fun. But now I do still like going to record stores. But most of the record stores now just have modern stuff. It's like I like the bins that people bring in stuff, and it's just garbage. Like, you know, but now it's mostly just like old Disney music, Disney records or something, you know, old like children's music or something. Some of it might be worth, you know, perusing through for like an audio tidbit that might be fun to play, but it's a lot of work for almost nothing.
Right.
But yeah, but the popular, but you're right. Like because I used to, even when I was in Denver, I used to go to like the Goodwill, and I would find like some cool stuff sometimes, but then most of the time it's just all garbage or stuff that I would never like. I'm not bringing that home. And now most companies make retro-looking things that are about the same price as these things. You know, like I'm not gonna get some chair that some old man has been farting into for the last 20 years. I don't want that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to be the one who's farting into something that nobody farted into. So that's how we domineer as men. We fart into things
and then give it away.
That's right. Well, Eddie, there always comes a time when we have to let it be over. You know, just let it all work out, as Lil Wayne said. There was Lil Wayne, right? Yeah. Let it all work out. Can't sing like that song. One of my favorite songs, though. You know. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, I always have fun with you. We talked about a lot. Yes. We talked about our fear of hot air balloons.
They're terrible.
I'll never forget that. Overpaying for subscriptions you forgot you had. Mm-hmm. What's a subscription you have right now that you could delete immediately?
Oh, geez, probably all of them, really. I mean, I think what I should do is, I remember at one point you had a pretty good strategy with your TV streaming services where you'd only do the one per month that you were interested in, and then you'd cancel and go to the next one like a revolving door.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so smart. I should probably be doing that because right now I'm paying for all of them, and it's really
'cause-
starting to add up, and I don't need them all.
Because I know I watch regularly. I watch a show, I watch Gilmore Girls and Seinfeld on a loop on Netflix. And I could easily I could go and spend a couple of $100. I already have Gilmore Girls. I could buy the entirety of Seinfeld for like $100, I think. Same with Curb Your Enthusiasm. You know, shows that you could just watch over and over. And then okay, if something pops up, I see it on, Jimmy Kimmel, occasionally they'll have somebody that I'm like, oh, I'll watch this guest. And then they're in something very interesting. And then I want to watch it. And then I'll pay $9.99 for this month and I can see this whole show, but I'll wait until it's completed or something, or close to completed. It's what annoys me is I'll get the thing thinking of the series finale has happened. And then it's like, oh, no, there's 2 more episodes. And that one's like a week after your subscription cancels. It's always some kind of thing. But and have you noticed, too, like they don't make a very prominent announcement that this is the last like they need to say final episode. Like it should flash that before it plays. And it should also let you know on social media, like because they just don't want you. They want you to buy the app for every month. They don't want you to like save any money. And in reality, I just want to watch all the shows in a couple of sittings and be done. I don't need to wait around every week for the premiere of the next episode.
Right.
No thanks. The only show that I do that for, It's News to Us with Eddie Barella and Jason.
Oh, geez. Don't do that.
Well,
You're wasting your time.
I'm too late. I'm addicted. You guys talking about stuff on Adobe Radio. Well, we always end with a dollop of joy, Eddie, and so I can't leave you with nothing. And this, imagine you've dropped dead. You're a lady in a small town. You're an old lady, and you drop dead, and your friends are sitting around giving your eulogy.
And there are people in town, honey, that would have shot her for $5. I mean, when you live in a small town, you've got to be friendly and nice to folks.
She would chew your ass out, drop a hat. I mean, she'd rip you a brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double wide ass. No problem.
She was just a mean, old, hateful bitch.
That's really what's going to be. I really do look forward to that, but like I want that kind of a eulogy. The mean old hateful. So, well, that's enough. Thank you for listening. We'll be back again next time. Eddie, do you want to? I always forget. Like maybe Eddie wants to say something. Could you give him a chance? Last time you said go see that movie Sinners.
That is what I said, and I hope everybody did. It was good.
I'm sure they did.
Good movie. I think I don't know. I think we're ready for the summer. I hope that everybody is getting out there and
what will you do this summer that's different from every other summer?
I'd probably just get outside more in general. Like just go outside. I feel like I don't get enough vitamin D, and I just need to.
Do you sit by a pool?
Maybe go a little easy. I don't have a pool to sit by, but I might go to a pool. I don't know, but I think I want to get outside. I want to enjoy some nice weather and probably work a little bit less.
Yes. I encourage that because you and I are the same. Like we'll sit at a desk, we'll get, because we like what we do. And then you kind of forget like, hey, there's other stuff in life than just sitting and behind a computer thinking about ideas for, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because you think about when you drop dead, I hate to think this. Everyone thinks a legacy is going to happen. Most of us are in a couple of years. Like, do you even think about Betty White every single day? That woman had an incredible career, and most people have already forgotten about her.
I know. It takes 2 days. You drop dead, and people have already forgotten about you.
You're old news. I mean, remember Michael Jordan, that guy? I mean,
yeah.
some kids don't even know that he's a person. They think he's a shoe.
Right.
He was the greatest basketball player of all time.
Right.
People will argue it's LeBron James. That's only because they never saw Michael Jordan. They thought he was
that
a
clip
shoe.
of Mike Tyson that plays on Adobe all the time that was that you made.
Yeah.
Part of where he's talking about legacy and how that's just another word for ego.
He's talking to like an 8-year-old kid, by the way, in that interview. He's being interviewed.
Girl. Yeah,
What does he
lectures
say?
her about legacy. He says that he's tired of people talking about the word legacy. It's just another word for ego. And then this little girl's like, oh, okay, thank you.
I've never heard of it said. She's really positive, too. She goes, I've never heard of it talked like that, but okay, thank you, Uncle Mike. Yeah. We're all just going to drop dead. No, everybody's going to forget about you. I hate to say it, unless you're like, Benjamin Franklin or somebody that's prominent in history. I mean, do you even think about like Benjamin Franklin? No. You know him because you've heard.
You think about all these. What about all these Roman emperors that were running around acting like they were so important? Ego is a poison. It's what it is.
And I do agree. I don't care if people remember me. I'm supposed to live this life and have fun and be creative and work with people like Eddie doing creative stuff. And Adobe Radio is a fun place, and we found it. But at the same time, we have to realize even while we're having fun with Adobe Radio, there's other stuff in life too. And it's not just going to a cocktail party to meet with someone so you can get networked with another Adobe Radio person. You know what I mean? Because that happens easily too. Because with Adobe, you think about it, like Eddie is the head honcho, so he gets invited to something like a rooftop party, and he's like, oh, that might be fun. But then you're working. It's a working situation.
Yeah.
And like it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But you got to balance it. They always say work-life balance. If they really wanted work-life balance, we get 4 days of work and 4 days of not work. And then
we need one more day. Yeah, 8 days a week.
Yes. Can we work on that's what my legacy wants to be. Make an 8-day week. Thank you. I yield my time.
Sleep apnea's gonna get you. Sleep apnea's gonna get you. Sleep apnea's gonna get you. Sleep apnea's going to get you. Breathe right. Sleep tight. Dun, da, da.
I hate hot air balloons.